How's it going, everybody? So today, this is going to be a video over synthetic division. Let's say you were given the example of negative x cubed plus 4x squared plus 9 is going to go ahead and be divided by x minus 3, this binomial. Now, you can only use synthetic division if you have a binomial where you have your x value and then your number. Okay, that's the only time in which you can do it. Now, the idea is that in order to do synthetic division, you're going to basically take that long division symbol, turn it upside down. What goes on the outside of the long division is your divisor, right? Now, we're not going to put x minus 3. We're only going to put the number 3 because it's always the opposite, okay? So had that been a plus 3, you would have put a negative 3 on the outside. And so that's how the divisor works. Now, what goes on the inside is going to be the dividend. So we're going to put in our coefficients only. We're not going to be putting any of the variables with it, coefficients only. And if needed, 0 placeholders. So we have our negative 1, 4. There isn't an x, so I need a 0 placeholder for it. And then, of course, the 9, okay? Now, the first thing you're going to go ahead and do is bring down your first term, okay, which is your negative 1. Now, you're going to then multiply, and you're going to say, what is 3 times negative 1? Well, that's clearly negative 3. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to add. 4 plus negative 3 is a 1, okay? So you're going to put a 1 there. Now, you'll repeat process. 3 times 1 is a positive 3. Add 0 plus 3, that is 3. Then last but not least, you're going to do 3 times 3, and that is a 9. And you'll add 9 plus 9 is 18. Now, the very last number, this is considered the remainder. Okay? And so the way you'll write your answer, because now we're officially done dividing, is we're going to have ourselves a negative x squared. Now, just a second ago, it was a cube, okay? But in order to write the answer, you write it 1 degree less. So you start 1 degree lower than the original degree. And so then the next one will be a plus x, then a plus 3. And so you'll notice I went in order. So after x squared would have been the value of x. Now, there's no number there. Technically there is, it's the 1, but that's why it's just an x. Then you would write 3, and then of course the remainder is very similar to the long division. You just put plus your remainder, 18, over your divisor. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you synthetically divide, okay? So basically, all you got to do is make sure that you put your opposite outside. So if that had been a plus 3, it would have been negative 3. In our case, it was minus 3, so it was positive. Then make sure you bring down the first term, and then you multiply 3 times negative 1, and that's why we got negative 3. Then you add them up, okay? And so because we added them up, that gave us a 1. And then you repeat process. You do 3 times 1. That's how we got positive 3. Then you add them up. So just continue that process, guys, and that will be synthetic division for any problem. You just got to make sure that you only perform this type of operation on something like this, where it is only a binomial, okay? So if you want, we can probably do an additional problem. So let's go ahead and do that. So say I gave you something like this, a 4x cubed plus a 2x minus a 5 is going to be divided by x plus 1. Now, the idea is that we're going to write in our divisor. With it being the opposite, it's a negative 1. Then we're going to put only our coefficients in for the dividend, so we have 4. But I'm missing x squared, so I need a 0 placeholder. Then I have my 2, and then my negative 5. I'm going to bring down the first term, and so that's a 4. So negative 1 times 4 is a negative 4. 0 plus negative 4 is negative 4. Then negative 1 times negative 4, that's going to give me a positive 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. Now we're going to multiply negative 1 times 6. That's negative 6. Now we're going to add, and that's going to give us a negative 11. Now, remember, this last term is your remainder, and you always start with 1 degree less than your original polynomial for writing your answer. So this would be a 4x squared minus 4x plus 6, and then you would have your minus 11 over x plus 1. And the truth is, you may be wondering, could I have used long division to solve these problems? And the answer is yes, you could have. So for example, if we want to go back to that original problem we had, which was the negative x cubed plus 4x squared plus 9 is going to be divided by x minus 3. You could have used long division here, and I can show you how synthetic division and long division would get you the same answer. So you would have your negative x cubed plus your 4x squared plus a 0x plus 9, and then you have your x minus 3. Now, we want x to be negative x cubed, so that would require a negative x squared. And then I would go ahead and distribute that in, so that's negative x cubed plus a 3x squared. Subtract. That's going to give you 0. And then, of course, that's going to give us a plus x squared after we distribute the negative. Then we bring down the 0, x. Well, now I want x to be like x squared, so I'm going to give it an x. And that's going to give me an x squared minus 3x. That's then going to give me 0, then plus 3x. Okay? Let me kind of scoot everything up. Now I'm going to bring down the 9. And now I want x to become a 3x, so I'm going to need a 3. So I have a 3x. And then 3 times negative 3, that's negative 9. So that's going to give me 0. And then that negative 9 becomes a positive 9, so it's actually plus 18. So here, what you notice is our remainder, and you tag that on, 18 over x minus 3. And so hopefully you can see that they were both the same answer, okay? And what's nice is, yes, if you run into this scenario, you're more than welcome to use synthetic division rather than long division. However, understand that you can't always use synthetic division. For instance, you couldn't do it with this right here. If you had yourself a x cubed plus x squared plus 1 is divided by x squared minus 5. You can't do it like that because you have an x squared. It would have to be an x minus 5 if you wanted to do synthetic division. But due to the fact that it's a squared, synthetic division is not permitted here, and you can only use long division, okay? So with that being said, guys, I hope this helped, and good luck on the synthetic division homework. If you need any assistance, let me know. Good job, guys.